Okay, good afternoon, class. We are going to go over the warm-up. And we're still in unit 2. Okay, so our learning target is I can determine the tax amount. I can explain the difference between gross pay, net pay, and mandatory and voluntary deductions. I can determine the different amounts that are deducted from a given paycheck. So our warm-up is going to be on piecewise functions. We did piecewise functions back in 2.2, 2.3. The question says, use the following tax schedule below to answer the following questions. So it says, write the piecewise function for the first 3 lines. So these are the first 3 lines. This line, that line, and this line. Okay, that's the tax schedule. This is the piecewise function, and this is the income. Okay, so let's write it for the first line. This is the first line. It's at 10% is the tax. So 10% as a decimal is what? 0.10. Okay. So I'm creating my piecewise function. It's 0.10x. That's how I started off, because I need to go from this line. So it'll be 0, because it's 0 over 0, but not over 9,225. So it should be 0 is less than x is less than or equal to $9,225. That's the first line. That's what that means right here on the piecewise function. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, we're looking at the second line. The second line says this is the piecewise function, $922.50 plus 15%. So let's write that out. $922.50 plus, so 15% as a decimal is what?
0.15.
0.15, right? Okay, good. 0.15. Then we got x minus, and we have to take it from the, because we're still subtracting it out. Similar how when we said we subtracted because it's already accounted for. So that's $9,225. Our piecewise function over here is 9,225 is less than x less than or equal to, that's this line right here, less than or equal to 37,450. So I'm going line by line. Any questions? This is how this would look. That's line 2. Any questions on line 2? You want to do line 2 like line, we'll do line 3 like line 2. Okay? Alright, so the third line. Third line, the tax is what? What's that tax amount? 25%, right? Second line, third line. Okay, so we're going to take, there'll be 5, and we're going to include this right here, $5,156.25 plus 0.25 x minus what we had before was 37,000. So I'll just have to take from the line before. Now, over here, my piecewise function, similar to this one, I got 37,000, so it'll be 37,450 is less than x, less than or equal to, I'm using this line, less than or equal to what? 90,750. That is correct. Any questions on the piecewise function? Because you're going to have to probably write that, know that, or fill in the blanks. Any questions? You can turn your decimal. Okay. The second question says, Jack has a taxable income of $415,000. How much in taxes does he pay? Which range is $415,000? Where would you put, where would that lie? 415,000.
Oh, the third.
You saying this one?
Yeah.
So 415,000 is in here?
Oh, no.
Where would it be?
It would be the line, the second one.
415,000. 415,000. Where would that be on this, on here? In between what? Where? The last one, right? That's 413,000 on. So I'll be using this one. This is the piecewise function I'm gonna use. So it should look like this. 119,996.25 plus, what is 39.6 as a decimal? 39.6 is a decimal.
What, 39?
I'm taking 39.6% and making it to a decimal.
Isn't it like 0.39? Or just 0.39?
0.396, you can't leave off the 6.
Oh.
So it'd be 0.396 x minus $413, because that's here. $413 and $413 and $200. 400,000, 13, and $200. So now I got my X. What would the X represent? My X would represent 415,000. This is my X in the problem. So 419,996.25 plus 0.396, 415,000 minus 413,200. Go ahead and put that in your calculators. Go ahead and put this in decimals. Let me put that in decimals. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so we got 119. 996.25 plus 0.396 times 415,000 minus 413,200. So it should look like this. That would be my answer once I plug it in. My answer would be 120,709.05. So 120,709.05. That would be my answer. Any questions on this? Any questions on the warm-up? Okay. All right, we're gonna finish off where we left off. So we should be on page, we're doing the pay stub?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's finish the pay stub. Understanding the pay stub. That's what we'll finish out today. So turn to the, almost the last page, on the last page, this page. Go here. off talking about state purchase. So we just state income? Is where we left off?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can follow me along on your paper. Alright, so state income is here. State income. Health insurance, that's just the health insurance. Oh, 401k is retirement. 401k is a retirement account. That's retirement. Okay, so let's look on this side here, where it says year to date. It says year to date gross gives the amount of money earned for the year before deductions. So gross pay we already know is before deductions. And I'm gonna explain what year to date. Because you see the YTD? So YTD means year to date. Year to date. Which means all the prior months added together. So from January to December, all those months. So all prior months. Added together. Now, as you see down to the bottom, everything is labeled. That's year-to-date gross. That tells you what that means. This is deductions. So year-to-date deductions gives the total amount withheld from your check for the year. Total amount withheld from your check for the year. Okay, that's deductions. Year-to-date deductions. Now, year-to-date net. We already know net pay is the take-home pay, right? Y'all agree? Okay. So, year-to-date net gives the amount you have earned after deductions. So that's after deductions for the year. Any questions so far? Okay. Next is deductions. Here. Deductions gives the total amount withheld from this paycheck, from this check. So it's withheld from this check, this deductions. Next, net pay. Net pay we already said was take home pay, right? So net pay gives the current amount you have earned after deductions. So that's after deductions. That's how much you take home is after. Okay. Any questions? We got some questions we're gonna answer. So flip it to the last, flip it to the back, the last page, we're on the last page now. To the back. I'm gonna answer these questions together. Okay, let's look at this. is a pay stub, sample pay stub that we're looking at. And follow along on your pay stub. Pay stub practice. Alright, so what is the name of the employer on this pay stub? This is the pay stub here. Huh? Jamie Smith is the employer name. This up top is the employer. Right? This is the employer. So the employer name is Wheels Skateboard. Wheels Skateboard Shop. Wheels Skateboard Shop is the name of the employer, which is listed up top here. Okay. What date will James be issued, check be issued? That's the pay period. But this is the date here. This is the date of the paycheck. 4/19. 4/19 is the date of the paycheck. How many total hours did James work? How many total hours did James work?
40.
Total, I need the total hours. What is the total hours? 50. Hours, because we got 40 hours here, and we got 10 hours here. So he worked a total of 50 hours. How much money did James pay in Medicare tax during the current period? Mind you, these are reading everything here. This is the current period, this is the year-to-date. So the question says, how much money did he pay in Medicare tax? Current period. $7.69. Correct, good job. $7.69.
How is it 7? How is it 7?
It says current total, that's Medicare, that's the amount, right here. Next. Huh? Okay. I'm sorry. How much money has James paid this year in federal taxes? How much money did he pay?
32.86.
How much money did he pay this year in federal taxes? $1,193.85, right here. That's the year-to-date column. $1,193.85. Correct. Next. The next question. I'm gonna push this up. It says, how much money did James save for retirement during the current pay period? How much money did James save for retirement for the pay period? Somebody said it. I heard it. How much money did he save? $50, right? So $50. Answer the next question. Next question. It says, how much money has James earned this year before taxes? How much money did he earn before taxes? Before deduction, sorry. How much money has James earned this year before deductions? So before deductions would be what? Before deductions is called what? Gross pay, right? So what's his year-to-date gross pay? What is his year-to-date gross pay?
419.
What is his year-to-date gross pay?
Oh, 1,000 in the bottom, no?
No, year-to-date gross pay. It's on there. Look to the bottom. Year-to-date gross. What is that?
8,275.
What is this year-to-date gross pay?
1085, 3.
Correct. 10,853.21. Next, number 8, it says, how much money has James earned this year after deductions? So after the deductions will be called what? Net, right? So what is this year-to-date net?
224,
How much?
324.
Look on the paper. What's this year-to-date net? It will be to the bottom.
7,577.88.
Correct. 7,577.88. That's,
That's before?
Hmm?
That's before, I mean, that's after.
the net is after taxes, after deductions, I'm sorry. Not right now. Next, what amount will James receive on payday? What amount will he receive on payday? And we are, huh? How much is this check gonna be that he gets? $324.35, because that's the net pay, right? Right? 324.35. That is correct. Good job. Now, 9. Because you're gonna have something similar to this where you're gonna have to answer these questions. 9. What is the total of all taxes? It says all taxes James will pay this pay period, and I'm talking about the mandatory deductions.
Is it gonna be like 75? 7,000?
I'm trying to add it up. What's the mandatory deductions? Add up the mandatory
The
deductions.
state,
Anything that's mandatory, add it up and tell me how much you get. It's listed on here. It's 4 mandatory deductions. Hmm?
Wait, ask the question.
The question is on your paper. Number 9. It's only the mandatory deductions. What for mandatory?
the state,
State?
the social.
Let somebody else answer. She said the state, what else? Federal? What else? Somebody else?
Social.
Huh?
Social.
Social? What else?
Medicare.
Medicare. Those are the 4, so go ahead and add those 4 that you just said. I just said what the 4 was, so add them up together and tell me what you get. Anybody got an answer? You should've got like 130.65 if you added the 4 mandatory deductions. Okay. $130.65. Question 10. Any questions on 9? Let's look at 10. It says, what percent of James' income was withheld for deductions? There's a hint there. It says to find the percent, divide the total deductions by his total gross pay, then multiply by 100. So that's what we want to do. We're on number 10. Number 10. Okay. All right. So it says his total, divide the total deductions by the gross pay. What was the total deductions? What was the deductions on here? It's to the bottom. It's to
So
the
it's the 205.
205. So we take 205.65, and we're gonna divide that by the gross pay. So on here, the gross pay
It's
is $530. That's the total. 530 times 100. When you multiply these two together, and you gotta times it by 100, your answer should be 38.8%. That's the amount of percent that James' income, what percent of James' income was withheld. Okay? Now, what percent of James' income was withheld for Social Security? We already know Social Security is 6.2%, right? Alright, so I'm gonna take his Social Security, which was $32.68, divide that by his total deductions, which was $530, times 100, and that'll give me 6.2%. Number 11. 6.2%. Okay. Next, how much is James paid for his company's health insurance this year? How much was health insurance this year according to the pay stub? How much was the health insurance for the year? How much did he pay? Year to date, how much did he pay for health insurance? $200. That is correct, thank you. $200. And the last question, how much is James paid per hour when he works overtime? 13. That's his overtime rate, right? So that's just samples of reading the pay stub. Okay. So I have an activity that we're gonna do, but we're not gonna do it today. But I do have some questions. A couple of questions I want everybody to answer. So I'm gonna give you a sticky note, and I want you to put your answers on the sticky note. Once you put it on the sticky note, I want you to place it on this desk up here, okay? So we're done with pay stub practice, we're done with unit 2, really. All we're doing is practicing now. Your exam will be next week, the test. You have a go formative that's sitting out there that you need to do, as well as if you feel like you want to improve on your test. If you have already taken it, good, and I'll contact you so that way you can take your unit test over to improve your grade. It's still there, but it will close eventually, okay? So if you feel like you didn't score good on your test and you want to improve it, you have to do the remediation. That's on my e-class page first. Any questions? There's a go formative. Finish that go formative, because I see a lot of people that have not done it. Go finish that go formative. I don't know. This is practice, so we're gonna practice and help you out for the test. Get you prepared for the test, okay? Any questions? Any questions on this or what we have learned? Okay. All right, so I will give you a couple of questions to the sticky note. your name on the sticky note. Passing out the questions in a minute, so when you do the answer, I want your full name on the sticky note, first and last name. You got one question apiece. One question. Write your name on the paper as well. We got one question to answer. You can use your notes. That's your question? Your question? Your question?
Oh, wait. The question is
Huh?
the question is
No. That's your question. The question, this is your question. I want you to use your notes to answer your question. Use your notes. Answer the question. You're still talking about pay. That's your ticket out the door. I wanna see everybody's sticky note. Anybody need some scratch paper? Okay. All right, go ahead and answer your question.